Show. With me, Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world with all the business news and moves you really need. Strictly DOCTORJ.com. Dr. J here with
Patricia Rae,
award-winning actress and podcaster and all-around cool chick. I had somebody talk to me about you, Patricia Rae. They said, "Hey, who's that lady?
Who's that lady?
Are you still doing your show?" Well, he's a brother. His name's a comedian named Larry Lala, and he'll be glad I said his name. He said, "Hey, are you still doing that show with that one sister? Yeah, what's her name? Patricia Rae. Yeah, homegirl.
He remembered
yeah.
my name because you
He
say it a
remembered
lot.
your name." And he didn't say, he was like, "She looks familiar." I said, "She's a working network actress."
Hello.
Are you kidding me? She worked with De Niro.
Yeah.
She's been on shows, All Rise, Maria Full of Grace,
Yeah.
Law and Order.
Yes.
It's like, what's wrong with you, man? He was like, oh, is that right? Oh, okay. I'm going to have to check her out. That's how you talk.
But see,
So-
people ask about me.
People ask about you because he's trying to come on the show, and I'm going to have him on the show when you're here.
Oh, yeah.
Larry Lala. He said,
Larry
"Yeah, come on the
Lala.
show." Larry Lala, comedian extraordinaire and celebrity driver. He has driven for Eddie Murphy and Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart. He does that on the side. And he has a very funny story about the time he drove Destiny's Child. Well, 2/3 of Destiny's Child to the airport, and it got a little ugly.
Oh, boy.
So we'll have him tell that story when he comes on. So he's got a lot of stories about celebrities he's driven to places.
That's the group that Beyonce was part of?
Yes, but Beyonce wasn't in the car. Michelle and Kelly were in the car.
Gotcha.
And there was an incident.
I'd love to hear about that. I'm sure limousine drivers see a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, Larry, we'll have you on the show soon. Okay. Do you remember Don Knotts? Patricia Rae,
I do
the late,
remember
great-
Don Knotts with the big eyes from the Andy Griffith Show.
And the great Mr. Olympus, the shakiest gun in the West, the ghost of Mr. Chicken, my personal favorite. I used to think as a kid he owned Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh,
His name
did
was
you
Don
really?
Knotts.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
funny.
That makes sense. But so he doesn't own Knott's Berry Farm.
No.
And I don't know who does. Do you?
No.
Okay. But you don't care for the place, do you?
Well, Knott's Berry Farm is the Spirit Airlines of theme parks in my
Yes,
book.
it is. Yes.
I was there
It
once
is.
with my sister. It's kind of a smallish, it's got some okay rides. But in the news, with Knott's Berry Farm, which is in Buena Park, California, this week, 22 people were stuck on the Soul Spin ride for 2.5 hours. Luckily, they were stuck in a horizontal position, so nobody was actually hanging upside down. But this particular ride spins in all directions. Can you imagine? Oh, so they had the mechanics come and like on a crane, and it got jammed. So they were working on it. Nobody was seriously injured, but some people had to be taken to the hospital. Some people had to actually exit the ride in wheelchairs. One woman did have some pain, and they hoisted a crane with a mechanic on it, and they finally got it working around 4 p.m.
Wow.
And they got everybody off of the ride. It's a high-speed spinning ride that rotates in 3 directions at once. Can you imagine? I don't go on these kind of rides. I don't like anything that could get stuck or could make me nauseous and want to vomit. So luckily there were no fatalities.
Well, first of all, who decided to name a ride after an exercise class?
This is
That's what
soul spin.
I mean, really?
I know.
That makes no sense whatsoever. Maybe some copyright issues there. So that's first of all. Now, Dr. J, when I was younger, I was very afraid of roller coasters. And
I
of
don't
course,
like roller coasters. This isn't a roller coaster per se. It's one of these like
well, thrill
almost like
ride.
a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I don't do stuff like that. But anything that was high and fast and spin around in circles, I didn't like. I grew out of it in high school because, of course, it's different being afraid of a ride in front of your family when you're 10. And of course, when you're on the football team and it's senior ditch day and we're all going to Magic Mountain, being afraid of the scary roller coaster could could ruin your reputation for life.
With the ladies,
With the
especially.
ladies,
Because
right?
you're supposed to be the strong macho guy and the girl could put her head on your shoulder.
Yes. I'm supposed to be calm. And I did the Colossus backwards, Revolution. I've
And
done
you're over there
everything since
shitting your
then.
pants.
I'm trying not to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. She had no idea. She knew I was freaking out, but I overcame it. But now in my later years, I'm like you again. I've gone back to that 10-year-old boy. I do not want to be on anything that goes fast. I would have been freaking out. I don't suffer from anxiety. I did have a bout of anxiety a little bit when I was finishing my dissertation at Pepperdine. Anybody who's done a dissertation from a reputable school, an accredited school,
big.
knows. Yeah, but I would have been freaking out. I'm sorry. I would have freaked out if I was stuck that high in the air because those seats are not comfortable. They're not airline seats. They are seats to hold you in.
They're plastic and metal and 2.5 hours. Can you imagine? It's tilted sideways, like sliding towards one side and just having your bones, like the weight of your body pushing against it for 2.5 hours. It could be very painful.
Especially a man, because those rides come, they're designed to go right way down there. And I'm not an average size guy. I'm a bigger size guy. So I'm a double extra large. So I would have been freaking out. I would have been freaking out. I would have had a panic attack. Somebody would have had to slap me.
Throw some water in his face.
I would have been going crazy. I couldn't imagine what I would be doing. And it's not like the Revolution, right, at Magic Mountain. They go upside down. And even still, I always prayed to get this loop over with because it was stuck up. Wasn't one of those rides stuck upside down for about an hour?
Not this particular ride, but yes, another one. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how you couldn't freak out. I would have been left with they would have had to put me on a stretcher after they got me down. I would have never been the same. I'm sorry. I can't do that. And this is a huge lawsuit. And a lot of people are going to get paid. If you're one of the 22 people, I recommend not doing a class action suit. Just get your own attorney and sue, because you need to be compensated for that because you will go and the mental anguish. You're going to have nightmares, I'm sure. You'll never probably get on another ride again. You'll be freaking out if somebody drives over 65 on the freeway. I mean, there's all kind of things that go with this. I mean, I can't imagine the trauma to this. This is horrific. And it's happening now. When we were kids, Patricia Rae, this didn't happen a lot. This rarely ever happened.
You know what? I think the older rides were just built better. They were built to last. Everything now is just kind of built to break down.
To thrill. And it's like you pushing the limits of stuff. You're right about that. I mean, the Colossus was made all of just wood. And I wouldn't get on that thing today if you paid me. Because that thing is what, 30, 40 years old now?
What, Knott's Berry Farm?
The Colossus.
Oh, is it?
At Magic Mountain. Yeah. I mean, I was like 10 when they first came up with that thing. Not that I'm 30 years older than that, but Knott's Berry Farm is a small park. It's a cutesy park. If you've been to Disneyland, it takes you maybe 30 minutes to walk around the entire park. Knott's Berry Farm. It's not very big.
No, it's not. It doesn't compare to like Six Flags or, any of the other big theme parks that have sections, you know?
Uh-huh. And you have people who've fallen off roller coasters too. We've had some tragic stories about that I've reported here, where one young kid was the safety hatch just came up. It was one of those falling rides,
Oh,
and the
Jesus.
safety hatch came open, and he just fell from it to his death. So, but then again, I don't know. I'm talking about suing. That's a malfunction. But I wonder if you read the back of your ticket. Now that I think about it, there may be some type of release on the back of your ticket that say you ride these rides at your own risk.
Oh,
So you probably
I'm
can't even
sure.
sue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if it malfunctions, though, I think that only covers if you have like a heart attack or an anxiety attack on the ride. If you fall off the ride by a malfunction,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you could sit there and say, well, it'd be best for them to settle anyway. I'm sure they got insurance for that. But hey, good luck to them all. Hope they recover nicely. Patricia Rae, where can we find you
nicely?
at?
You can find me on X at the Patricia Rae, on Twitter. At Instagram at the Patricia Rae, and at the Believe This podcast on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And every Friday with Dr. J on the Strictly Business Show
With Dr. J and
Patricia Rae.
Absolutely.
I got it.
Oh, can't wait to the big pizza party. You have got the world famous Strictly Business Show with me, Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world on New HD Radio.